Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Brian D'Amico. I am our Director of Events at USA Triathlon, and also will be serving as the race director for the 2023 Multisport National Championship Festival. The purpose of these briefings, as I've mentioned on the others that I've done thus far, is to really get you an inside look on race-specific items as it relates to, in this case, the Draft Legal Sprint Triathlon. There is a general briefing, as I mentioned in the chat, that's posted that covers top line items as it relates to the event, everything from parking to timing chips to the single numbering plan and everything in between. So please make sure you head over to multisportfestival.com, scrolling down to event information and then expanding the pre-race briefing accordion menu. That's where you can also find the general race briefing. If you do have any questions, please feel free to enter them into the chat, and I'll tackle those at the conclusion of my presentation. Hopefully, I will be able to answer your questions before you even have to ask them. So we'll go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, this is just race specific to the Draft Legal Sprint Tri. The goal behind this, again, is for it to be as concise and informative as possible. So like I mentioned, if you have a question, please go ahead and insert that into the chat box. Air temperatures for race weekend are expected to be between 75 and 80 degrees based off of historical data, with 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit in the early morning. Expected water temperature, we expect it to be between 66 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. As of yesterday, the last temperature taken, the water temperature was 63 degrees Fahrenheit. So based off of increasingly warming weather, we expect that water temperature to continue to increase. Going through the entirety of the race and schedule according to the races. Wednesday, we'll kick off with the open water swim competition. That's a pre-registered race, so you must pre-register if you're not already registered with that. That's definitely an option for you. Packet pickup will also kick off on Wednesday, and we'll also be offering packet pickup on Thursday as well. Friday is the Draft Legal Sprint Do, Draft Legal Sprint Tri, which we're speaking about now. And then Saturday, we roll into the standard aquabike and standard duathlon races. And Sunday, a change from last year is that we've shifted all of the mixed relays to Sunday for a culmination of the entire event weekend. So we'll kick off that morning with youth triathlon, then the age group mixed relay tri, a new event which our age group do mixed relay, and then lastly our super sprint individual medley triathlon, which will run concurrently with the age group triathlon, where it's one athlete doing 4 times of swim, bike, run. Detailed schedule. So I'll go through this just again at a top line. Wednesday, as I mentioned, we have BOA packet pickup. So you may pick up your packet as early as Wednesday from 12 to 4:30 p.m. Expo will be running concurrently with packet pickup. We'll also be having bag check. That will be open from 2 to 4:30 on Wednesday. We do have a swim course familiarization from 4 to 4:45 on Wednesday. So with that said, your timing chip is required to partake in the swim course familiarization. That'll be set for approximately 750-meter course. So with that said, you receive your timing chip as you go through packet pickup. So if you do plan to participate in that swim course familiarization on Wednesday, please make sure you pick up your packet prior to entering the water. Thursday, we'll also be offering packet pickup. So that'll run from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and we'll be running concurrently with the expo over the same hours. So shifting to Friday, race day. So roads will close starting at 5 a.m. The Draft Legal Triathlon will be the second event of the day. The Draft Legal Do will kick us off in the morning. Bag check will be open basically all day from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. As well as the expo. Transition area will open for the Draft Legal Tri from 11:30 to 12:45 p.m. We'll have some large feather flags that signify exactly where you need to go for bike check-in. And then when bike checkout is set to happen, we'll also have a flag up so you can easily identify where you would need to check out your bike. Draft Legal Men swim warm-up only will take place from 12:15 to 12:35 p.m. Last athlete will need to enter the water no later than 12:30 p.m. We'll then get all those athletes out of the water, and then we'll roll into our race start. So all athletes will start in the water for your specific wave with the hand on dock. We'll kick us off at 12:50. So wave 1 will be males 15 through 29. Wave 2 will be Clydesdale at 12:52. 12:53 will be males 30 to 34. 12:56 will be males 45 to 59. 12:59 will be males 60 plus. From there, we will have our swim warm-up for draft legal women and non-binary athletes. That will take place from 1:45 to 2:05 p.m. 2:15 will be wave 6, so females 15 through 29. Athena at 2:17, females 30 through 59 at 2:18, females 60 plus at 2:21. 2:23 will be our non-binary with a swim course closure at 3 p.m. Subsequent to those wave starts, we will start bike checkout at the transition area. Everything will hub and take place at Leading Event Plaza from 3:45 to 5 p.m. Please make sure you're diligent in getting over there to check your bike out. We'll have a bike closure time at 4:00 p.m. with the course closure at 4:50. Team USA Lounge presented by KC Tape. That will be for men and women only from 5 p.m. to 7:00 p.m. So that will run concurrently with the award ceremony. That will take place from 5:30 to 6:45 p.m. Again, award ceremony will take place on site at Levy Event Plaza. I will pause here for a few seconds. So this details not only wave starts and wave start time, but also swim cap colors for each individual wave. So I'll pause here for a few seconds if you need to capture this data. It's also posted on our website or take a screenshot. Okay, moving forward. So I'll go ahead and detail the course and the closures and what that looks like. So we'll start with the swim. So swim start, as I mentioned, we will start athletes by age group and by wave, as I outlined in the previous slide. It'll be an in-water start with hand on dock. Please make sure you're wearing your issued swim cap as well as timing chips. Once the gun goes off, you'll go ahead and swim the 750-meter course. So you will see some orange buoys out on the course. Those are sight buoys. So you may swim to either side of the orange sight buoy. Your first turn, you'll take on your left shoulder. That'll be a yellow triangular buoy. Your second turn, you will also take on your left shoulder. That will be your second and final turn. And then after you complete that last turn on the swim, you will have a straight shot to the swim exit. So again, orange buoys, you may swim to either side of. Yellow buoys, you must go around, and you'll be taking those on your left shoulder. We will have plenty of support on water via lifeguards, kayaks, stand-up paddleboard, police and fire. Once you exit the swim, if you can locate my cursor here, you'll swim in the northwest part of transition. You will then run out on the southeastern part of transition. With that being said, your bike out, which you will hit first, as you're approaching the bike out and run out chute, your bike out chute will be to your right-hand side. So there'll be volunteers, barricades, signage, and cones signifying which way you're going for bike out, as well as a large transition tower that will further denote where you're exiting transition. You'll come out on the bike. You'll make a left-hand turn onto Las Colinas Boulevard, where you'll mount as soon as you hit Las Colinas on the straightaway. You'll travel down Las Colinas, heading eastbound for a short distance before you'll make a 180, and then you're out on the bike course. So as you go out on the bike, you'll traverse north. So you'll be traveling in the northbound lanes of Las Colinas Boulevard. You'll make a 180 just prior to reaching Royal Lane, where you'll traverse southbound in the curbside lane on northbound Las Colinas. So traveling all the way back down towards the venue. If you look at this zoomed in BOA transition zone map here, at approximately this location where my cursor is, you'll see a split or division in the course. There'll be signs and volunteers and flags there as well that will say transition left, next lap right. So upon completion of your first lap, you will stay right. You will pass the dismount line, go through this area. You'll merge into athletes that may be starting the bike course and complete the same bike course. So upon the completion of your second lap, you will stay left. You'll dismount on Las Colinas before heading into transition. You'll head into transition, and then you'll set out on the run course. So as you set on the run, you will exit to the left-hand side of that bike out, run out chute. You go through a small gate area, and then you're off onto Las Colinas Boulevard. You'll then take a left-hand turn on Lake Carolyn Parkway, a left-hand turn on Promenade Parkway, where you'll go down approximately all the way to Las Colinas Boulevard, where you do a 180-degree turn. You'll then come back towards the venue, make a right-hand turn into the venue. On your left-hand side, and I'll touch on this in the later slides within the presentation, you'll see the penalty tent. So all penalties will be issued and served on course. So that will be on your left-hand side before you reach the finish line. So just make sure your head's up, you're looking at that whiteboard at the officials and penalty tent to make sure your athlete number isn't there. And then you'll continue straight to the finish, which is directly by the water. As we walk through the road closures, I did just want to touch base on this as it relates to racing. So when you go out on the bike course, again, you're traveling in the northbound lane, both on your out and back area. When you do that, you will have a full closure on all northbound lanes. So on Las Colinas Boulevard, it varies between 2 lanes and 3 lanes. All of those lanes will be for you. There'll be a center line cone line that is marked out on the course. So again, full closure, all of northbound Las Colinas for riding. On the run course, when you head out on the run, you'll hit your first aid station at the intersection of Lake Carolyn Parkway and Las Colinas Boulevard, where we'll have Gatorade endurance formula, water, as well as ice. You make that left-hand turn where you hit your second aid station. So talking through this, this will all be very, very clearly marked, not only with staff, volunteers, codes, and traffic control, but also, as I mentioned before, verbal cues as well. Once you make that left-hand turn, Las Colinas Boulevard is fully closed. When you make a left-hand turn at the Lake Carolyn Parkway, you will be running in the southbound side of Lake Carolyn Parkway in the median lane. So this will be closest to the light rail. There'll be cars based off of access points in that curbside southbound lane. So that will all be clearly marked and delineated in order for us to get residents out of the apartments that sit on the lakefront. So you'll travel up Lake Carolyn Parkway in the median southbound lane. You'll make that left-hand turn on the Promenade Parkway. So you'll be running westbound in the median eastbound lane on Promenade Parkway. This will all make sense once you see the layout on site. You'll make that 180. You will come back in the same lane, heading eastbound in the median eastbound Promenade Parkway lane. So that lane, both on Lake Carolyn Parkway that you're running out on and back on, and that lane that you're running on Promenade Parkway, both out and back on, will be in that median lane. That will be split in half. So cars will be in the curbside lane. That interior lane will be split for out and back run traffic. For course details, with that said, swim, as I mentioned, 1 lap. Orange buoys are sight buoys. You may swim to either side. Yellow buoys are turn buoys. As you get in for your swim warm up, please no diving feet first. For the actual race start, that will be in water, hand on dock, waiting for the horn to blow. Your bike is 2 laps, so we will have mats out on the bike course for accountability and auditing purposes. 2 laps, athlete's responsibility to know what lap they are on out of those 2 laps, and to go on to lap 2, you stay right. Upon the completion of lap 2, you stay left for the dismount line. The run course, as I mentioned, this really details out as far as which lanes you will be in. Again, this will be very, very, very clearly marked as far as which lanes you need to be in. For rules and officiating, so all rules will be conducted under the new USAT 2023 multi-sport competition rules. With this being said, due to this event being a national championship, World Triathlon qualifier event, kind of looking over the entirety of the course weekend, the same temperatures will be used for all swim segments and events at Multisport Festival. So with that being said, I expect that water temperature to be between anywhere 66 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Wetsuits are mandatory at 60.6 degrees Fahrenheit and below, which I don't believe we will be at. And wetsuits will be forbidden at 76.2 degrees Fahrenheit and above. So I anticipate it to be a wetsuit legal event. The temperature range for wetsuit legal will be between 60.7 degrees Fahrenheit and 76.1 degrees Fahrenheit. So with that said, I fully expect it to be a wetsuit legal event. As I had touched upon, officials will be on course, and on-course notification for penalties will be enforced. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. So first and foremost, making sure athletes have a fair and safe race, but also making sure we all are treating each other with respect, obviously knowing that world qualification spots are also on the line. So just a reminder that failure to follow any instructions of staff, volunteers, or officials could result in disqualification for the event. That wraps up all the top line details that I have for my side of things. Further information can be found at multisportfestival.com. For parking, we expect to have that parking pass link out within the next 3 to 4 days. So by the beginning of April, depending on when you are listening to this, it should either already be out or will be out. If you do have any specific questions, please feel free to reach out to nationalevents@usatriathlon.org. We do have one question so far from Chris. Mark Turner, our commissioner of officials, is on, so I am going to unmute him, and Mark will take the question asking if they are permitted to use aero bike helmets for the race.
My understanding for draft legal racing is that aero helmets are okay as long as they don't cover the ears, but we can make sure we've confirmed that.
Great, thank you, Mark. One additional item that I'll note as well is that Mark Turner, our commissioner of officials, and Paul Brandt, our technical officials coordinator, specifically on the draft legal side, they will be doing a rules briefing as well within the next couple of weeks that we will ensure that is posted also. Does anyone else have any additional questions? Great. So thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate it. This recording should be up by the end of day today. With that being said, once it's posted, feel free to go back and watch it. And as I mentioned in the first part of the presentation, that general race briefing is already posted on the website as well. So see everyone in Irving, safe travels, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.